Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome, and if you're returning, then welcome back. If you haven't done so already, please hit the subscribe button. It really helps my channel out a lot, and it's completely free. If you're new here, I also do browsing videos, and I do videos where I go to the candy aisle or the candy store and I just show different candies. A lot of people enjoy those videos, so check those out if you haven't. Which goes I just want to cover my jewelry of the day is a gummy bear pendant. And also jewelry of the day, a ring, an all black ring, that kind of pays tribute to Drakkar Noir, which came out in 1982. So today's video, we're going to be doing Drakkar Intense. We're going to be going over Drakkar Intense. It's a flanker to the original Drakkar Noir that came out in 1982. Now, this is this fragrance that came out in 1982. When I was growing up, I would smell it everywhere. I mean, everywhere. It was so popular. It was just one of those fragrances that, you know, a lot of men wore. It was a very ultra masculine fragrance, and you would smell it everywhere. Back in the day, there weren't a lot of fragrances around. You know, only a handful of fragrances that were like openly sold, you know, at the department stores, and Drakkar was one of them. Super, super popular fragrance. And it was one of my dad's signature fragrances growing up. He would wear Drakkar Noir a lot. So I remember that smell like all the time at home. And also I do have a memory of Drakkar Noir where you know, back in the day, they used to do a lot of really elaborate gift with purchases. They would give away more things than they would do now. And I remember that one time, it was like shortly before I think my first grade started, or was it second grade? I think it was first grade, where they gave like a gift with purchase. They gave a backpack with a gift with purchase with Drakkar Noir. And so I remember going to school with a Drakkar Noir backpack for a while. So that's just, you know, wanted to share that information. But let's get into it. Let's see if Drakkar Intense is as good as Drakkar Noir. I have to compare the two, even though I like to treat fragrances for what they are, because, you know, what I heard was that this is a more modern take on Drakkar Noir. So I am going to be comparing the two, since it's, you know, known to be a more modern version of the two. But otherwise, I would just treat a fragrance as is and rate it for what it is. Review it for what it is. So, okay, so Drakkar Intense Guy Laroche. It's a 2022 release. Now, there's no perfumer behind it on Fragrantica. So if you know who the perfumer is, please drop a comment. I'm curious because I couldn't look for it. Like, I couldn't find it anywhere on the internet. So Guy Laroche, let me know if I'm saying that right. Is it Guy Laroche or Guy Laroche? 2022 release. This is relatively cheap. This is a 3.4 ounce, and you can find this for under $30 online, and you can also find this at some of the discounters. I've seen these at Burlington, and I think you'll find some at Marshall's as well. So here's the bottle of the Drakkar Intense. Nice little orange caramelly juice color. Now, I do remember the black bottle of the Drakkar Noir, and which is why I'm wearing the ring, as mentioned, just kind of paying tribute to this, the iconic fragrance of Drakkar Noir. I do prefer the other bottle, but this is, I guess, they're trying to say, oh, it's intense, look at my color, even though nobody could tell the color of the Drakkar Noir. We don't know what the juice color was. It was in a dark bottle. So let's get into the notes and let's get into the fragrance. So 2022 release, it's like a modern take on the 1982 original Drakkar Noir, and they categorize this as an aromatic fougere. I'm not going to be doing a breakdown of the different notes of Drakkar Noir versus Drakkar Intense. I'm just going to be getting into the Drakkar Intense. So, Drakkar Intense, top notes: wormwood, coriander, rosemary, bergamot. Middle is lavender, clary sage, juniper, berries. And then we have base, patchouli, lavender, moss, and suede. Okay. So those are the notes. So let's get a Kleenex and let's spray it. And by the way, this isn't my first time smelling this. I did get a whiff of this about like a week ago, 2 weeks ago. So I already have an idea of what this is. But I'm just refreshing my memory. Oh, this smells so masculine. I mean, this is such a guy smell. I mean, if they were trying to make this more of a unisex thing by calling it something modern, then that's not it. They didn't do that, because this is very masculine still. This is like super, super masculine. I know that some women wear Drakkar Noir, or they might wear this. I mean, fragrance has no gender, but just to let you know, this is very masculine. Okay. So the first hits of this are very Drakkar Noir. It still has that opening. It has that Drakkar Noir opening right away. It's a really familiar smell. When you smell this, you're gonna think you're smelling the original Drakkar Noir. But it's different. It's different as it opens up. So let it just kind of open up. Wow. It just smells so similar to the original one. But it's kind of fresher. So as it opens up, you don't get that rich spiciness of the original Drakkar Noir. And I did smell the original Drakkar Noir again like last week. I went to Penny's and they have it on the shelf there at JCPenney. So I smelled it. It's such a great fragrance, by the way. For anyone in the newer generation watching this, get your nose on some Drakkar Noir. It's a really good one. Okay, so anywho, so this is basically how I would sum this up, is that it is a modern interpretation in that it takes away like the yummy spiciness of Drakkar Noir. It still smells like Drakkar Noir, but it's like a fresh take on it, because they removed the spices of, they removed the spicy goodness of Drakkar Noir in this. And it doesn't have the same, I want to say it doesn't have the same intensity that Drakkar Noir has. See, Drakkar Noir was a really complex, it still is, it's still out, it's a complex fragrance that has a lot of notes, that had a lot of like spiciness, some leather, and it did actually have cinnamon in the notes. I don't know the whole breakdown. If you want to go on Fragrantica and type in Drakkar Noir fragrance notes, there's a whole list of notes that are not in the Drakkar Intense version, but it did have cinnamon. I think it's in the middle notes. It had cinnamon somewhere, and I know it had leather in there. So this kind of takes away from the rich leather cinnamon that was in Drakkar Noir. So I honestly want to say that even though they renamed this Drakkar Intense, like I don't find this to be intense. I find Drakkar Noir original to be intense. This is more of this should have been called Drakkar Noir like freshy or something like that. So if you want to know like which I prefer between Drakkar Noir and Drakkar Noir Intense, I definitely prefer Drakkar Noir, but I see why they did this, because Drakkar Noir was such a strong smell that maybe they're trying to appeal to a audience that is that makes it more wearable, because I guess back in the day everyone smoked, so there was smoke everywhere, and so they liked having really strong fragrances to cover up smells. I mean, they would even smoke at workplaces back in the 80s to the early 90s here in the States. So I get why they had such a much more stronger smelling fragrance back then, was to cover up that smoke and stuff. And for Drakkar Intense, since they did get rid of that leather and that smokiness, I think that this would be more like wearable during the day. So maybe if you're a Drakkar Noir fan, you know, this would be a great option to wear like during the day. And then maybe at night, do the Drakkar Noir at night, because it has that like leather and spicy notes to them. Okay, so do I think, so my final verdict, I like Drakkar Noir more, but this, I get what they did. They took away the leather and they took away the spiciness. So they made this more like a modern take on it, I guess, to not scare away, you know, the younger generation if they want to be introduced to Drakkar, the Drakkar. I feel like the younger generation probably knows Drakkar Noir as being, you know, possibly their grandpa's scent or their dad's scent, and so they don't want to like rewear what their older generation and their family was wearing. But I mean, that's a shame because it's such an iconic scent, Drakkar Noir. So definitely give that a try too. Don't get stuck on the idea that, oh, it's a grandpa smell. It was my dad's smell, or it was like an uncle's smell. It's still a great, great fragrance, especially to wear, like as a going out fragrance in the evening. But Drakkar Intense, I mean, I don't hate it. I just think that Drakkar Noir, the original, is superior to this due to the richness and the spiciness of it. But you can definitely like try both and let me know for yourself. Like, drop a comment. Have you tried Drakkar Noir? Have you tried Drakkar Intense? Do you get the same thing that I'm getting? Do you think that it's not intense? It's not as intense as the original Drakkar Noir? Let me know your thoughts are. Do you agree with me that this is more wearable during the day than the Drakkar Noir? Just let me know your thoughts. This is such an iconic fragrance, so I really wanted to, you know, do a review on it. And do you like the bottle? Do you like the juice color? I personally, I'm like really nostalgic over the all black bottle of Drakkar. They kept the shape and everything, but you know, they got rid of the cool black bottle, and it was kind of cool. Like, you didn't really know like how much is left in it or not unless you weigh it. But yeah, check it out. Let me know what your thoughts are. Drakkar Intense, Guy Laroche. Let me know your thoughts on this. Let me know. Okay, cool. See you in the next one. Bye.